Hola, and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm your host, Alice Bonilla, and today I'm joined by Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
And Steve Zec.
Hello.
Today we are discussing the latest 4 episodes that have been released by Cartoon Network online. You can find previous discussion on OKKO episodes that we've had here at overlyanimated.com. You can also find us at overlyanimated.com/iTunes or on your preferred podcatcher. As well, you can also listen to us on YouTube at overlyanimated.com/YouTube. Wherever you listen to us, we always appreciate any ratings and reviews you want to leave us. But today we'll be getting into the latest 4 episodes, Final Exams, Soda Genie, CarolQuest, and Boxman Crashes. Those are the 4 that have come out recently. It had been since a while ago that we've talked about OKKO. But July, I think it was.
Beginning of summer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Summer break's over.
Right. So we're back in session. And we have one episode that concludes an arc that was set up a couple of months ago. And we have some other episodes that talk about things that maybe are setting up for the future. So we've got a bit of a variety to cover here. So we'll begin with general impressions on the episodes, like what stood out to you, or if you have a favorite that sticks out. We'll go to you, Steve, first. So, which of these did you prefer?
Oh, which would I prefer? Okay. Wow, I love Boxman Crashes. That's gotta.
Hell yeah.
This is the second time in a row like we've done these batches that has no Dendy in it, but this is the one episode. This is one episode that does make up for it. Fink makes up for the lack of Dendies, and a bit. She's like the more evil Dendies, just the cuteness and just being destructive. And you gotta say, you can say all you want about Enid and her sort of female relationships, but the true subtext gay relationship for sure is Boxman and Venomous.
Woo! I like this.
I'm sure there will be ship discussion later concerning those two.
Oh yeah, they're like a regular Bert and Ernie. So that's
how topical of you.
I know.
Yeah, and I also like Final Exams. I told you last time that this is probably going to conclude with the next episode, that for Final Exam and the episode we covered last batch, where all 5 of them were made to be part of a bomb. That was the intention, and Cartoon Network just, screwed things around a bit.
Okay.
And I really, there's not one bad episode in the bunch. Even the filler one, the Genie one, the Soda Genie one, I like that too. That has references to Ace Attorney.
Yeah, very
and the
much
Genie.
Ace Attorney.
Yeah, and it's Genie. What's her name?
Citrus Twist.
Twist. Yeah, she was adorable. I loved her. She again helped make up for the lack of Dendy.
Okay. So it seems you're generally positive on these episodes. Michelle, we'll go to you now. How do you feel about this group of episodes?
I cannot believe that we were all blessed with Boxman Crashes. With the minute I read the title, I was like, oh my god, yes! More Boxman. Yeah, he's gonna crash with somebody. Something's gonna crash. Give me the crashing. And he goes to Professor Venomous's house. And what an amazing... Their bond just keeps getting stronger, and they complement each other so well. Professor Venomous has all the money. Boxman has just his petty goals that, fuel Venomous with life to keep going and to keep being evil and to keep doing things. And I think it's just so wonderful. So wow. And I'm very excited that this seems to be the beginning of an arc for Boxman this season, which I think is very needed because he wasn't doing anything for most of the season so far. In general, these 4 episodes are great. I also find it weird that we didn't get Final Exams till now. That's a really long time to wait to get a conclusion to a 5-episode arc, but I thought it was very strong. I think it was great that it ended on such a positive note for Elodie and Enid's relationship in particular. I love that Elodie, she came around, and
I'm excited about possible future episode down the line with that.
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that really stuck out to me was that Elodie, her reasons for staying, I think, are just as valid as Enid's reasons for leaving, right? Mm-hmm. Because she's saying, like, you know, like, maybe Chip Damage was a robot, maybe it's all orchestrated, and there's some real shady stuff going on behind the scenes, but I still believe in everything he stood for. I do want people to look up to me. I want to be a hero that can do good for the world, and I believe in the system, and I want to change it from the inside. And I think that's really fascinating, and I'm kind of like, yeah, you should. I hope both of you succeed in opposite directions, achieving something better, and there's more than one way to you know, protect the world. So yeah, Soda Genie was great. Very like Steve was saying, very strong Ace Attorney vibes. I've never even my understanding of Ace Attorney is all through social media, and I still could understand from that very shallow, you know, brush with it that this was very clearly Ace Attorney. And if Ace Attorney is anything like that episode's homage, it's probably amazing. Mm-hmm. And CarolQuest was sweet because, yeah, we got some development between her and KO, and she realizes that he isn't like quite the little boy she assumed he was at this point, and he knows a lot of things, and he's ready to be treated more like an adult, or at least given more confidential information. Mm-hmm. And so, like, every episode had a great thing to tackle, and it was very enjoyable.
Do you notice in CarolQuest, though, the very first scene, the way KO was animated was so weird. He's like so much smaller than he normally is, like the rest of the episode. Like, he went down to Carol's knee in the very first scene, and then the next scene you see him walking, and he's about normal height.
Well, I think that's just okay KO's style, but also I do think that episode is emphasizing KO being a kid, so maybe that's intentional, who knows. But just my general impressions, I'm in agreement that Boxman Crashes is a good episode. I wasn't blown away the first time watching it, but on second time, like, it just feels so much fun. Like, I sympathize with Venomous being like, I'm very bored, but this was fun, you know? So I feel like Venomous many times in my life.
Well, we're done recording.
And Final Exams is also an episode that I enjoy the Enid Elodie interaction there. I like the twist they throw in at the end. Like, it was something that I wasn't totally expecting. So I enjoyed that. The other two episodes just feel like average KO episodes. Like, they're not really episodes that I'm gonna remember like in 3 or 6 months, but they were fine in the moment. But we'll get into those. But I guess we can dig down a little deeper. Final Exams is the one that concludes the arc that we were setting up in the last 5 episodes. And Michelle, you mentioned something interesting about the Enid Elodie difference in philosophy, and I think that's something that we can dig into a little bit here at the ending, because basically what goes on in this episode, it convinces Enid that she shouldn't be a part of Point anymore. She says that she can't get behind the beliefs that some heroes are worth more than others. While Elodie comes from this other side, well, the methods are flawed, but people need heroes to look up to, and I've worked towards that, and I think I can get that by staying here. Mm-hmm. And it ends up being a very amicable parting of ways, and so I really like that, just because it does feel like they both explain their sides more or less understandably, and it doesn't feel like either one is wrong necessarily. It's just their different personalities. And they end up hugging at the end. So it all feels very cute.
They're very cool with each other despite their different beliefs. And I love KO and Rad's reaction right from the cage at the very end. Like,
yes.
I do feel though. I told you I knew like Chip was a robot. I'm very sure he wasn't the real main villain. That there was someone behind the scenes pulling the strings.
Wait, can someone go back to the tape? You just said I was sure that Chip was a robot. Why haven't we heard about this before?
Well, no. Steve did say that was his theory, and my theory was that Foxtail was also in on it.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Steve did think that he was a robot from before,
but I was wrong. Okay. I
guess I'll need to dig up the tape on that.
I thought the person pulling the string was shadowy figure, so I was wrong about that. Or or that guy, the hero that we all think is KO's dad that died.
Laser Blast?
Laser Blast. I thought it was one of them, so I was wrong about that. But I do think, though, Foxtail, like Sandra from Voltron, I don't think she's like evil. I think she, in her mind, has the best intentions. So she just has really messed up methods. But I think I don't think she's like evil or anything. I think she's still on the good guy side. She's anti villain.
No.
Michelle, what do you think?
The whole mentality that some heroes are better than others is troubling to me, because that, like, I don't know why, but it just like made me assume it was something like Salazar Slytherin, right? Like, no, it's a school where we only want the best, and we want to like extra help the best people because they're gonna do the most good in the world, and we need to single people out and have all these standards and ranks. And that, I feel like that's a really slippery slope. So I don't think she's not evil in a way that we used to, but I think like her ideology is very troubling.
Yeah, I agree.
In any case.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not saying she's a good guy or anything. I'm just saying she's not like full like on the villain side. I don't think she thinks she's anti-villain. She thinks she's good. I think she's not like Boxman or Venomous. Like, they know they're like doing bad stuff and they're cool with it. I think she's different from that.
She's different, but I wouldn't say she's like not as bad. But just seeing,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just said,
no, I'm saying that I'm curious to see if her ideology is going to play out in a bigger way in the future, and if so, what larger repercussions that could have.
I'm just wondering how, if Carol like knows about this, and if she finds out, she'd still be cool with it, because
Probably
it does.
Not.
Yeah. And I wonder, very sure if Mr. Gar knows about this, because he's definitely always been anti-Foxtail, anti-Point, so maybe he knows stuff that we don't know that he knows.
Mm-hmm. And it's remembering the Foxtail Mr. Gar interaction in the Chip Damage introduction, where they're very hostile towards each other. So like that's something that we need to come back to at some point.
Oh,
but I like Foxtail just showing up and like becoming more important again, because I think that in the school arc, like Foxtail kind of got phased out for a while. Like she just because we were putting so much focus on Chip and less so on Grayman, but then Foxtail kind of got phased out. So just to like show her back up again, it made for some, like, I wasn't expecting her to come back necessarily.
But in a way though, it's like never underestimate women. So good for you, Foxtail. At very least, you're at least showing empowerment in your own way.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a little sad that, she's like so strong and has like a voice and looks very butch, and she's coded as like semi-questionable in her morality. Not to say you can't be, that and still be an interesting character, but I wish there were like more buff, cool ladies who weren't a little shady to balance that out. Because it's like how I feel about Jasper. It's like Jasper's such a particular character with such a certain design, and she's also really questionable, and that bums me out a little. See, that idea.
At least we had Topaz, so.
And here we have Carol. Like, she's buff, I guess, but like, I see the point. Also, another thing with Foxtail at the end here, she once she like chases off Grayman, she pulls up a feed of the plaza and she like gives a smirk. So I guess is that supposed to be setting up something for the future with Foxtail and Point?
I feel so. Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she like threw Grayman under the bus. That's like the thing that really made me concerned, because she was like, he found out her secret and she's like, fine, like leave the school. We don't have a use for like a person without powers anyway, which is really like throwing in his face his accident that he'll never recover from. Like, that just seems like a really low blow for somebody you've been a partner with for decades.
I do wonder though, has Fox always been like this? I kind of wonder maybe if what happened to Laser Blast maybe changed her for the worse.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I first believe though she was born this way. I think definitely maybe had people deal with tragedies in different ways. So,
and with With Grayman, like all of a sudden the thing is like he creates chip damage to be sort of like the representation of Heroes while Point was getting itself together, and then Foxtail just steps in to kind of hijack his project. So
which is so shady.
Mm-hmm.
It's another angle or another layer in the betrayal here at the end. But this episode actually begins with the Point trying to investigate suspicious people. Enid, Rad, and KO are sleeping together at the very beginning, which is kind of cute. But then Rad and KO get captured, and Enid has to try saving them. But then Enid and Elodie have this heart-to-heart because Enid's trying to convince Elodie to stay around. They like hold each other's hands. I got a very strong energy from this.
That is strong energy. That is like definitely subtext. A lot of subtext here. I think they knew what they were doing there. It's not as much like as say back in Red Action. That was not subtext. Back in Red Action was actually text, but this is very strong subtext.
Yeah,
I don't know. It did give me strong feelings, but I don't know how I feel about that as a ship, honestly.
Well, speaking of which, I want a future episode. I need to see an episode with Enid, Elodie, and Red Action all in the same episode interacting. I gotta see that. Even if you do the subtext of maybe of Enid maybe having an old friend, a new friend. Do they have enough in common? Will they get along? Or what I like to see maybe if Enid she accidentally make plans to hang with Elodie and Red Action on the same day, and she's trying to do both at the same
just
time.
a trope.
Keep beating that drum, because if KO lasts for like 5 seasons, eventually they're gonna have to get around to doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but for now, this is just an Enid and Elodie show.
But actually, but I can't just say more seriously though. I do think in a way though, Elodie and Red Action, how differences they are. They represent what kind of depth Enid has in her interest, how vast different she is. Because I think Enid has a lot in common in Red, a lot in common with Elodie, but the differences. Like I think Enid, like Elodie, kind of wants to be a hero and stuff like that. While Red is like Enid is also more so of a rebel rule breaker, while Elodie is sort of like someone who goes by the book. And remember what they said, like last batch of episodes, when Enid once said to Rad, "I'm a witch who's a ninja but wants to be a hero." Like she's a lot of layers to Enid.
Yeah, I can see that as reflections of different sides of Enid's personality there. But here, Elodie, her friendship with Elodie is strong enough that Elodie later shows up to save Enid again, and she gives off the line like, "I just didn't want to lose you again." So
which is good. That's the character growth. She's learning not to throw her friends away. It makes me so happy.
She's like, the path she was on before was the Foxtail path, and now she's sort of maybe going away from that. So.
Well, she's realizing what a true hero is, which is to stand up for the people you support and things like that. So that they end up going together to Chip Damage's office, but they find out he's a robot and his butt is his charger. A lot of butt jokes in this episode.
Oh my god! Yes, there were a lot.
Ooh, a lot of memes too. A lot of memes I saw on Tumblr with that scene with them holding the butt.
Yeah. There were many different frames that you could take out of context, but so it's revealed that his butt is the charger. Grayman tells him to escape with his butt. That's to keep Chip from recharging. And there's this interesting scene where they are falling through the sky. Chip is chasing them to chase the butt. They throw the butt around a lot. I do think that stands out as a piece of animation, like the whole sky fighting scene. Like that seems to be the centerpiece of the action in this episode. And so at some point, KO and Rad break out of their cage to help out too during the fights. So that was nice. And then the ship is destroyed. Enid decides to leave. Sparko listens in to Enid and Elodie's conversation, and Sparko decides to leave too. Does Sparko matter?
No,
it's weird that he wants to leave, but I guess if his decision was based on, like, I think shady things are going on too, and so that's my reason. I mean, okay. I mean, I guess that's fine, but he doesn't really have a relationship with any of the main characters, so
yeah,
it's kind of like, yeah.
It
like,
feels kind of
okay,
shoehorned
whatever.
in, like, oh yeah, we introduced this guy. Well, I guess we gotta give him an ending too.
I thought for sure perhaps he might have been one of the people that would, even at the very end, still be on Foxtail's side and believe in Foxtail's methods.
I mean, I'm surprised, like, you've been being that Sparkle might secretly be evil or something. I'm surprised you haven't brought up, like, a sleeper cell theory or something.
Yeah, I would, because he seemed like so nice and stuff. I thought they were setting up a twist. And listen, who we're talking? You're the one who thinks Carol might be evil, remember? So
yeah. So that long ago, we think things. But speaking of potentially evil or solidly evil, Boxman and Professor Venomous have a good relationship. I think that this sends alongside Enid and Elodie, Professor Venomous and Boxman are like the strong chemistry of this batch. Michelle, what do you think makes these two special when they get together?
Oh man, they're polar opposites, except for the fact that they both like using weapons to fight people. That's what brings them together. And Venomous, he has the know-how. He knows how to do a good business transaction. He knows how to get money. He knows how to stay organized. And Boxman's like sloppy, but he makes amazing things. And yeah, they're only for petty crimes, but they work really well and they're still very impressive. There's a reason he ran a company for a long time. So, I mean, and like their chemistry is Boxman takes every opportunity to like, hug him and like pat his chest and look at him adoringly and try to make him dinner and feed him. And it's just like so fascinating and sweet and just interesting that like, how can you not be into it? It's just so good.
And also they both like to have like sort of children as their like sidekicks. They're both sort of single dads.
Exactly. They're both dads who are evil.
And it's interesting though, also like now that they sort of merged the idea now the robots, the Darrow, Shannon, Raymond, they now have a little sister. How are they going to deal with that?
Oh no!
Well, we saw how they dealt with that before.
Destroy all of them. That's the real thing, though.
Yeah.
But although you're actually right, Steve, in bringing up that this does give us an opportunity for more Fink, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I think we had been missing Fink for a long time.
And I still want a Dendy and Fink in the same episode facing off against each other. I need that explosion of cuteness.
One strong Fink moment that I also saw being circulated on social media was, you want to play some videos game?
Videos games.
And the Venomous responds like, I hate videos game. Like, in such a serious way. It's like, okay, so this is how we seriously say it. Like, I just know that got viral from this episode.
Well, she's just a kid.
Not entirely sure why, except that it just sounds weird to say videos game.
She's just a kid, though. She has a little lisp. She's just a little kid. You give her a break.
But the adult says it that way too.
I interpreted it. I thought in canon in this universe it is videos game. That's what I'm assuming it is. That's
because Venomous says it the same way.
I don't know. Maybe he's humoring her. Maybe he's humoring her. Like a parent with their kid, just humor them.
Like I feel like they probably said this before.
I think it's canon.
Yeah, so like some other characters probably said this before. We just need to dig around for old episodes. But I just find it funny, the exchange. And just how, like, Venomous is treating Fink like a child, like, hey, stay off the videos game, go practice your piano.
Well, speaking of flips, though, I'm hoping the next time we bump into the Venomous and Boxman together, we do a Brady Bunch themed parody, or we need to do that.
There'd be enough for that, including Jethro and Ernesto.
Yes.
And Michaela.
Who's going to be the Alice of the group? The Ernesto? Is he the Alice?
I don't remember the Brady Bunch characters enough to answer that.
The maid.
Oh,
Boxman. Boxman is the maid.
Yeah.
I think Ernesto probably would be the maid. He's so eager to please.
Actually, Botsman probably wouldn't be the maid because he's sleeping in the trash can at the beginning of this episode.
There was just this little music touch to that reveal that just killed me. There was just such good timing finding him in the trash. Like, oh my god, Boxman, of course you'd be in his trash.
Mm-hmm.
Botsman is literal trash.
He is, but he's great. He's great trash.
He is salvaged by Professor Venomous. And so they get into hijinks when Botsman begs his way into his house. At some point, he's cooking in his underwear and a stinky shirt, and Venomous goes lizard on him.
Yeah, the lizard was good.
Actually, another sitcom thing they could have done, The Odd Couple, because that's basically what most of this episode was.
Well, they already are, pretty much.
Yes.
Absolutely, they own it.
Yeah.
And to the point, just no matter what Botsman does, he ends up destroying stuff, and he ends up destroying the entire house. But Venomous is slowly redeeming his impression of Botsman because Botsman builds a trike for Fink. Fink's trike ends up wreaking havoc on the plaza, and they just sit back and watch their little child do their thing.
Mm-hmm. So cute.
And eventually, even though they get blown up at the end, I love the Venomous delivery of, I loved every moment of that.
With little tread marks on his face.
Yeah.
He never felt so alive.
Yeah. From the very beginning, they established that Venomous is kind of bored with his villainy and just doing normal villain stuff, and Botsman kind of brings out the weirdness that makes it exciting, exhilarating. And so I mean,
sorry, I was going to say, it also, because I feel like I've heard this a lot, especially with showrunners, that once you take on more responsibility, you're always in meetings, you're always organizing things, but you never get a chance to sit down and draw anymore, and you can't really appreciate the craft in a hands-on way you used to be able to. And I was really getting a vibe of that from Venomous when he was talking about what he does all day, and I was like, oh yeah, he misses the down and dirty evil villainy stuff. He likes getting his hands dirty. That's what he misses, and Boxman gives him that outlet.
Boxman makes his hands dirty.
Yeah, he does.
That's an interesting point of view, and I guess that works. And to the point where they end up partnering together, and the Venomous buys Botsmar back and puts Botsman as CEO, which means the end of the reign of Lord Cowboy Daryl. It was a short but notable run. So
he's not sad about it. He's happy, Daryl.
I mean, he is happy, but am I happy? Not really.
I know. But still, though,
I liked Cowboy Daryl.
How Daryl feels about this yet.
I know how
Boxman imagines he will be happy to have him back, but we have no idea what they've been doing for the past few months.
Wasn't the episode, though, when we see, Cowboy Daryl, he's sort of not as happy. He's just almost more like a chore to him. Didn't we have an episode like that?
Well, we had that reality show episode.
Yeah, that was the last one we really paid attention to them.
Yeah, that was a strange moment.
Well, still, though,
I love that episode, Alex.
I know you do.
I'm disappointed, though, we did not see the Boxman children's reaction to this partnership. We'll
get it when we have the Brady Bunch episode.
Yeah,
exactly. It's
but still, when they see the idea that they'll think their new little sister after the whole that babysitting episode, it's just their reaction, their face is just going to be hilarious.
It's going to own them.
I guess for story reasons, do we think that there's anything interesting in Venomous and Botsman getting together?
Yes!
Is there some plan going on here? Michelle, you seem excited.
Yes! Well, this is the thing. This is why they're a perfect team. Boxman is brilliant in what he does, but he needs a lot of guidance and direction to maximize his potential. Whereas Venomous is wonderful in a producer role. He's great at getting the funds. He's good at organizing. He's good at managing and making sure everything is in place. But then Boxman's the one who's going to do all the grunt work and make the amazing thing happen. So together, they can rule the world. That's why this is so exciting. This is going to lead to so many more amazing endeavors that they take on together as a team. And we've been building for this forever. And I'm so excited. and I can't wait to see them in action. It's gonna be so good, you guys.
It's like
It's gonna be so good.
It's like the villain team, like the super powerful billionaire villain and the mad scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
also the kind of an item maybe, and that's even better.
Yeah, when you put it like that, I guess I should be more excited by this, because maybe it does put up the possibility of like the villainy being a bit more menacing. Because I feel like early on in the show, when like it was just Botsman, like at some point it was like, well, this is goofy and all, but like when are we gonna ramp up? But if you add Boxman and Venomous together, like I guess that provides the possibility for amping up the evil endeavors.
Oh, for sure. Like, we shouldn't forget that the most intense villain that we had was basically Boxman Jr., and that only came about because of Venomous's involvement. He's the one that gave him the chip to act. That was their test run. Imagine how intense their machines are going to get once they really hone down on this.
I still wonder, though, does Venomous have a connection to Shadowy Figure? Are they maybe his brother, or...
I don't know. They have the same voice.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, though. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too, because like in this episode, we learn a piece of Venomous's personality, which is like he gets bored with the normal stuff and gets excited by like raw power, and that's kind of a thing that like we know about Shadowy Figure too. Like he gets very excited when KO is like activating the TKO and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Heals his son, and this can't happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think Venomous has any relation to KO. I think Venomous is just evil.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, going over to CarolQuest, I guess that has a couple of story stuff too.
Mummy! I love Mummy!
Okay, is that what you want to talk about first? Fine.
Fine, we're gonna do it.
Miss Mummy is a junior point operative. Gertie, who shows up at the dojo every once in a while, shows up as well to like be backup. I enjoy her joke of just, like Carol is trying to trick KO into thinking this is like a scavenger hunt. Carol tries to convince Gertie of this and just like dial up modem noises as she's processing like. I can't even imitate what those noises are because I'm not.
The dial-up connection noises are very particular. Yeah, they're very screechy and painful to listen to.
And I wonder how many kids are growing up that will no longer know what that noise even is. Like,
oh God, that's true.
But But Miss Mummy and Gertie show up to help. Carol is on this mission because she got a call from Foxtail at the beginning of the episode, calling her Silver Spark, mentioning a project of Code Vermilion, and Carol is trying to hide all this, but it doesn't end up working. And we end up getting the reveal that Carol and these other operatives are still part of Point, and they're charged with protecting the Glorb Tree that we've seen KO find in other episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And also we get the detail that Carol doesn't want Mr. Gar to know about this. Maybe this supported by the Mr. Gar's enemy ship towards Point back in the other Foxtail episode.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, sure.
Just say something, though. The idea, though, Carol sort of like keeping secrets from Mr. Gar, doing this top secret stuff. Can I just say, though, how normally we have a relationship like that, it will be the male who's keeping secrets and doing cool stuff behind the female's back. So it's nice to see maybe they're trying to reversing the trope, or reversing or subverting it at the very least.
Yeah, that's fair. It's still not a good relationship thing, but yeah, equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, Mr. Gar is kind of like retired, and Carol is pretending to be retired, but not really. So that will definitely cause some weird interaction later on. So I guess if you're interested in the Carol Mr. Gar relationship, that's something to keep an eye on.
They're like a regular Mr. and Mrs. Incredible in terms of how they often like have these relationship problems.
Yeah. The bulk of this episode is Carol carrying KO around places. They go into the back of the bodega. KO also references that he's been back there before. I like the little joke of like Carol adjusting the dungeon difficulty, just like a video game. Like a nice visual joke there. They also have a big fight with a mutated mecha maw. So it looks like it's just a robot. I'm not sure how a robot can be mutated, but
I
like.
don't know.
but
But then again, like, why does Boxman have a robot eye and a chicken arm? Like, there must be some reason, but we'll know probably.
I was just suspecting for Boxman, just part of an experiment gone wrong.
Yeah, I think he had an accident. I think that's part of why he is what he is in terms of
If for
his
some
goals
reason,
right now.
I always envisioned Boxman having an older sibling that's way more loved by his parents.
All right.
Yeah. Like,
because he's always going to get Venomous to be proud of him. You mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
But any opinions on where this mecha maw is coming from, or who's interested in the Glorbs? Is it also shadowy figure, or is it somebody else?
That's my guess.
Been there stealing Glorbs before, so.
And especially if shadowy figure is KO's dad and Carol's investigating, it kind of makes sense. Maybe they're going to have to confront each other down the line.
Ooh. That actually sounds interesting. I want that now. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to pick out of CarolQuest. Like, it feels like a very linear episode. There's not that much going on except for the ending. But I don't know. Anything else you guys want to mention from this one?
Mummy, Miss Mummy, she looks like a grown-up version of the Mummy from Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School.
Wow! I'll take your word for it.
So both adorable.
Mummy looks like another mummy. Good analysis.
But they're adorable. They make it look adorable. And she's voiced by Ashley Burch.
Oh.
Okay.
We got a little more interested out of us.
Speaking of voice actors, the only one of these that have like new guests is Soda Genie, which introduces Citrus Twisty, a Soda Genie voiced by Ali Wong, and we have the return of Wallace Shawn. He appeared in a very early OKKO episode, and he appears here as Judge Wally the White.
This sounds amazing, as usual.
Wally the White, and the opening the show they're trying to make fun of was the People's Court. That's their theme song, like sort of a parody of that.
Yeah, but it's the Magic Court.
I know. You guys ever seen the People's Court? Or
no.
I have been sick from school and watched this at like 3:00 when there's nothing else to put on. So yes,
that's kind of cute though.
Like the People's Court is always on at an hour where like the news hasn't come on yet, so your parents haven't hogged the TV yet, but at the same time they want you to keep the channel on. So like that's what happens before the news.
I wonder who the current judge is. Who's the current judge?
Yeah, I don't remember.
You don't know either.
The internet would know.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Me too. Also, there's so many Judge shows because like Judge Judy is still going on. I think there's a Judge Joe Brown somewhere over there. There's
I think we're going off on a rant here. We better just get back.
Okay. Well, also,
Dylan's gonna kill us.
This episode is like all references, so like it feels a little weird. Like there's the one that stands out the most is like when he's hearing the different stories. It's like these conflicting stories are giving me a rash. Oh man, get it? Rashomon. Ha ha. Like it felt so over the top. Like, hey guys, there's a Rashomon joke. But the entire episode is like that, so it's kind of like, do you like your episodes meta or do you not? But
I tell you, Citrus though, she's like a perfect like. She reminds me of a Kwame, Marcus Ladybug. She'd be a perfect Kwame in terms of her personality, in terms of her size, in terms of her spunk.
Well, I love her spunk and her like cutesy evilness. That's very appealing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Why are all genies evil? Like, why can't we have one helpful genie in the world?
Because they're stuck in a little tiny container and they're just beholden to demands as their entire goal in life.
You never
I
see
would be bitter too.
Yeah, well, can you blame them? She reminds me of Norm from Fairly Odd Parents, Genie. Same type of craftiness. But you want a good genie? You guys remember a movie called Aladdin? That genie was a good guy.
I mean, debatable. But This Soda Genie ends up manipulating KO into making Rad a burger, but literally making him a burger. And so they have... Enid decides that the only way to do it back is to sue Soda
her.
Genie.
I love Citrus's version of the story, how Rad, the guys are like so big and powerful. He's like, make me a burger.
Yeah, we get these very conflicting stories based on their personalities. Also, Rad is just like, hey, I was cool. Oh yeah, and she turned me into a burger. Like that,
Yeah,
that's
he
pretty
like
much
forgets the
story.
whole point of the court case. It's great.
Yeah, and we do get other references like Ace Attorney, like Enid gets punching noises after responses to cross-examination. I think that's also a reference to that game. But at some point the case falls apart, and there's a lot. There's even more judge puns, like KO being "I plead the fist." And,
Yes.
And Twisty is like, "Here's my rebuttal." They punch back and stuff.
To the point, there was no recess, and then they all just go out on the playground and play for a little bit before they get back to their trial.
Yeah, well, yeah. Somehow 11 minutes did not fit all the judge the court's puns they could fit, but they tried. And Judge eventually sentences Twisty to prison. KO, in his warm-heartedness, wishes for Twisty to be free. And the episode ends with the Genie leaving and not changing Rad back. And Rad is just like, whatever. So like that is a classic OKKO episode. It's just like it's similar to like the we have fleas episode or whatever.
Yeah, the furry episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say the furry episode,
Yes,
but I think
call it what it is.
I guess we can call it the furry episode.
So Rad is both, Rad is both a dog and a burger, I guess.
Yeah, he's multifaceted.
Rad has taken many forms, but he's an alien. He should be able to,
guys,
accept that.
He's a burger. Oh, come on! I never make puns. That was a good one. He's a furry and a burger, so he's a burger.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's kind of my pun. You guys are like, what?
Congratulations, you managed to make us go wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was probably better than half the jokes in this episode, though.
I wonder, though, who would be most likely to eat Rad when post-episode? Like, who do you most fearful might eat Rad?
Wrigley would totally eat Rad.
Yeah.
No question. He's down for anything.
Yeah.
Enid might eat Rad. Like, Enid's just
she
hungry.
might.
I don't know. She might find him disgusting.
That's also true.
What about those two guys? The skeleton guy and that other one. Those. They had
the skeleton and the bear. Brandon. Oh, Brandon.
Brandon. No, wait, it's Brendan. It's Brendan.
Oh, Brendan. Yeah,
I remember because I'm like, that's a dumb fake name, and Brandon's a real name. And then I moved to the Northeast, and everyone was named Brendan. I'm like, what? How is this real?
I could see one of them doing that by accident, eating Rad.
Yeah. So there was no Brendan in these episodes. we'll end talking about him. I kind of miss him and Skeleton. They're a nice duo, but
you know who could have helped in this trial? Attorney Dendy. Dendy would have been perfect to help them out there. She seemed to have a very smart little lawyer mind that could have helped.
Yeah, we missed her knowledge of legal language that I'm sure she has somewhere.
Yeah, golden opportunity missed right there. I'm serious, writers. Dendy should have been a part of this.
Well, look, maybe they're preparing us for like 5 episodes of Dendy in a row. You never know.
Yeah.
Stay calm during the calm before the storm or something. I botched that saying, but whatever. So I think we've covered all the episodes and the main stuff that came out of it.
Did have a crossover.
We also have in the hiatus there's a random Mighty Magisards episode that had Rad in it. Steve is really eager to report, so Steve.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I always thought though, if any show OKKO could do a crossover with, it was Mighty Magisard. Both worlds seem just sort of random, and their rules are just random and nonsense. Those two words would just work so well together, but. So better late than never, even though Rad barely did anything. Though I Except he did find a possible new love interest. Was flirting with Simone.
Does it count as a love interest if they're on a show that they will never go on again?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Maybe. Michelle,
But
did you end up watching that or no?
What? Oh, the what?
The Mighty Magisword.
Never mind.
Wait, what is it? No, tell me. What is it?
The Mighty Magisword crossover.
Oh God, no! I'm sorry.
But at least it prepares us for
I'm
the
not
big
a true
crossover.
fan. I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I watched like a YouTube clip that was just the rad parts, and I was like, okay, sure.
That's a good compromise.
Well,
it was like 3 minutes worth. If you're a diehard OKKO fan, I guess go look for it. But yeah, like as Steve mentions, it's rad. It doesn't do much.
Yes,
so
it's a nice little preparing us for the big crossover that's coming soon, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited too because Garnet.
Yeah,
we have the crossover Netses, which has been a much hyped crossover episode for OKKO, which will include Garnet from Steven Universe, Raven from Teen Titans Go, and Ben from Ben 10. That is supposed to air on TV October 8th.
Columbus Day.
Yes, the hallowed holiday of Columbus Day. So that'll come up soon, and otherwise, I don't think we know other future episodes for
the Halloween episode.
Oh, yeah, there's a random Halloween episode that I'm sure will come out. Monster Party, it's titled. That's scheduled for October 21 currently. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Otherwise, we don't have too much scheduled for the future, but when we have enough to talk about, we'll come back. I guess.
They always like to surprise us, Cartoon Network.
That's true, too. Yeah. Like, these episodes in particular, I don't think we had much warning for them. They just kind of showed up. So.
And we don't know when
Toby were great about circulating them on Twitter. I was thankful for that. Even though I should know when they are, but I was like, oh.
Okay. We don't know when they're going to air on television.
Actually, I don't know. Because Craig is airing episodes next week, but I don't know about KO.
Just like the latest Steven Universe episode still has not aired on television either.
Yeah, so. Don't hold you. Hold your breath for that, Steve.
Look, guys, Cartoon Network says the future is online, so fire up your dial-ups and load these episodes.
Who has dial-up?
This Gertie lady probably does.
Yeah.
Carol probably has it installed in the dojo for all the elderly folk who like it. But until we have other episodes to talk about, you can find out all the info of this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can join us on Discord to chat with us about OKKO or any other animated show we cover at overlyanimated.com/Discord. You can support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Lucas, aka Rocco. Thanks as always to our Patreon executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Hugh. And other podcasts that we have out, Miraculous Ladybug, we're in the middle of covering. Mm-hmm. We will probably soon have Craig of the Creek stuff to talk about too. And we'll keep an eye out for the OKKO episodes. So if they happen to come upon us, we'll be there to talk about them when there's a batch to talk about.
And perhaps maybe we might have the Venomous Boxman wedding episode. So
can you imagine? Oh my God, Fink would be such a cute angry flower girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't opened up Steve's fanfic corner for today. You can probably riff on that for 2 minutes if you wanted to.
I already told you about the idea of Enid, Elodie, and Red Action interacting, and Enid trying to hang with both of them at the same time.
That's not a Venomous Boxman wedding. Tell me about the wedding.
Okay. Wedding.
All right. How about we have the other villains there, and for some reason, KO's there because he is just so popular, even with villains, that he would just have some little role play. He might even be the priest who marries them off.
Okay,
he would get certified online.
That's cute enough. KO giving away Boxman.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I totally think Boxman should be the one to wear the dress.
Yeah, so he looks so good in his veil, and he'd have his bouquet of flowers, and he'd just be like grinning and running down the aisle.
And I'm sure Daryl will be in tears.
Yeah, and everyone would be super excited.
Actually, maybe all the wedding guests could just be.
Maybe the best honeymoon.
Maybe most of the wedding guests should just be, bunch of Raymonds, Shannons, and Daryls, and.
He makes all of them, so there's like a big turnout to the wedding.
Yeah.
That does make sense. But until we get a Professor Venomous Boxman wedding, or until we get more OKQ episodes, whatever comes first, we'll come back to talk. But until then, thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.